you mean, did you look at the future use code? Like, hey, we know that we're going to be able to subdivide these to 0.7 lots, or did you just read the zoning? Like, what did you catch about, because you can't just say, hey, I want to put 50 lots on this one property. You obviously have to do some research. So for the people watching this, beginners, have no idea. Like, what are you looking at? I know step 1, 90 days. What's the next steps, to identify?
So you can even go to the county's website. You can read the subdivision regulations on there, or you can actually call the county and ask them, about the area that you're working in. Sometimes they'll say, hey, that's out of our ETJ. We kind of don't care what you do out there. If it's in the city, especially like some of your like blue states or blue cities like Austin, it's going to be a lot harder to work there, right? Because there's a lot more red tape and regulations, right? So that's what you're going to get, that pushback. That's why we love Texas. Everything that we target is outskirts unrestricted. So if you take a major city, it's like encased by, like Bexar County, right, in San Antonio. We'll completely crop Bexar County out of our search criteria, and we're just looking out here, like in the outskirts. So we're looking to play in areas where there's not that much red tape and you can move very quickly. So within 90 days, we have a pretty good idea of what our subdivision might look like. We'll have a concept drawn up already. So we're pre-shopping lots before we even close to make sure that the deal is going to be good. So if we do have a deal for 90 days, we find that there's no buyers responding to that price point in that area, we'll either revisit the seller and say, hey, we can't purchase at this price. We need to work on a price reduction if we're going to move forward with the contract, or we just cancel altogether.
Yeah. And as far as I want to answer your question too, as far as the sweet spot, it's usually within hours. So think people, and this is where it comes down to our buyer pool. People that buy land, they can afford to, and they're looking for that space, looking for hunting land, looking for things. People that always going to take care of home first, they're always going to take care of home first. So it's not a necessity. So people that buy land, they're a different type of buyer. The other thing is that they're willing to commute. So usually the sweet spot is 60 minutes from the city. So you guys are in Atlanta, you might have Locust Grove on the south side. You might have Marietta and.
Actually, funny you said Locust Grove. We got a land deal there right now, potentially.
I used to live in Locust Grove, and I live 45 minutes from the city. That's why I live there.
Yeah,
it was a commute, and this is a funny thing because like I lived there because I had 5 acres, and it was a 30-minute drive to work. We're 45 minutes to the city, and that's why I liked it. And that's our whole strategy now is that people they like space. They like living within 60 minutes of their city commute, airport. Venues to go to concerts and stuff like that. So it's that sweet spot.
So I have a question. It's 10.6 acres under contract right now, and it's definitely like a deal. I mean, I think someone would buy it, but how do you look at this? So we can. I've already looked at the zoning. We can
do a live deal. Let's put a live deal.
Yeah, we can do like a live deal role play. So I looked at the zoning based on what I can see, and I haven't like mapped it out or had any engineers like do anything on CAD or whatever, but it looks like I can probably get 10 to 11 lots on it. Like how do you value that? And just like do you look at what new construction home prices are selling for? Like, because they're small lots, they're like 30,000 square feet. So
we do the opposite, and this is the short answer: is we look at it at the worst case scenario. What's it valued at? So if it's 9 acres and it's worth $20K an acre, are you getting under 180? Basic. If you have to buy it at 9 acres, worst case scenario, can you sell it at 9 acres and still make a profit?
Mm-hmm.
If that's a good, then you're positive. Then you can kind of look. The reason why we like land too, because there's no cap. If you can put 5 lots or 10 lots, it's still a deal. Or you sell it as 9, it's still a deal. So it's wondering where the line is. Like me and Anthony, like we contract deals all the time. Like we might make 50K or we might make 400. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out in 6 months.
It just depends. How do you look at
day one?
So that makes sense. Yeah, I can totally get behind that. How do you and then once you just subdivide it, you're just kind of like, let's just put it at a price that makes sense or like that we would like, and see if you get it. And
the trick is seller financing. If you can seller finance everything, people are willing to pay overpriced, and they're only willing to look at the payment. So if you have $100,000 lot. And you sell it for $100,000, your buyer pool is small. But if you sell it for $10,000-$20,000 down, you might have 500 buyers come in wanting that property. So you can sell it for $125,000, $150,000.
Which we totally could, because we're buying it's under contract for this land for $30K. So we could buy it for $30,000, get the site plans done, maybe $20K for all that, get it subdivided, and then sell it on terms and get all of our cash back with down payments.
We always bring up this example. We did this deal about 1.5 years ago, which kind of gave us the idea of how this works. So we found a lot, $35,000 lot. How many $35,000 lots out there? There's thousands in every city.
Mm-hmm.
Seller wanted 15, already 50 cents on the dollar. Anthony negotiated 8. We got it for 8. We sold it on Marketplace for $8,000 down, $500 a month for 5 years. Well, what's the ROI on that? What's the infinite return? Because you're no money into the deal. You took the buyer's cash, paid the seller off, and now you just collect the payment. That's $250 to $750 is what a normal rent house rents for, and we're doing that with a $35,000 lot.
Yeah, that's actually kind of nice.